Hi, guys. I'm Lenny Lashley, former guitar player and singer in Darkbuster and Lenny and the Pissball Boys. Currently playing guitar in the Street Dogs, and I have my own project, Lenny Lashley's Gang of One. And I'm an idiot. So, I mean, I've been, I guess, playing since Darkbuster, the band that I was in, '97, I think we started, and we'd play pretty much Boston throughout the suburbs, anywhere we could, you know. I guess that was kind of earlier punk years when bands like Ducky Boys and Dropkick Murphys were just playing the Rat in smaller venues. So I've been around for a bit doing that, and then had a little hiatus and started doing some country western with that Pissball Boys stuff. And, you know, just basically kind of milling around, playing music. And lucky enough in the last few years, got to join up with the Street Dogs the last year. So it was, truthfully, I mean, I've never written specifically in any genre. I like the ability and the freedom to just kind of write whatever I feel like writing. And Darkbuster had been kind of going through a rough patch, touring a lot, and kind of got exhausted with hanging out with each other. And that was just stuff that I had been writing. I bought the acoustic guitar and been playing. And me and the ex-wife went out to Viva Las Vegas, which is a big rockabilly convention they do every year out there. And now deceased buddy of mine, John Johnson, was out there, who I'd known through some bands that he was playing in, more in the rockabilly scene. And we got to talking, and I went over to his apartment and showed him some of the songs, and basically that was it. He really was the catalyst in all of that, you know, really kind of encouraged me to kind of go and try and open up and do stuff like that, you know. I mean, overall, I'd like to consider myself a pretty diverse songwriter and singer. So yeah, everything I can. That's why I bought this thing, this classical guitar, to try and maybe learn a new facet of something that I don't, you know. It's never too late to try and learn and utilize things, I think, you know. So any way I can grow as a songwriter, yeah, for sure. First 3 chords I ever learned on the guitar, I started writing songs, you know. It's a lot of guys wanted to be Eddie Van Halen when I was in high school, and I realized that I was not going to be that dude, so I wrote stupid songs, and that worked for me. I mean, geez, I started listening only to Kiss when I was a kid. When I was a younger kid, I was that typical Kiss on the ceiling, Kiss on the walls, everywhere, you know. And then slowly got interested in through some friends with that classic battle. Oh, this drummer's better than that drummer, and Aerosmith was a big influence on me. And being local guys too, Boston guys. And then I gravitated towards a simple punk rock. Like the Ramones were a huge influence because I realized I could get my head around, I can do this. It's easy. Look, it's only 3 chords, and there's a cool little hook, and it kind of clicked. Now, it was a couple years in the making with a guy, Pete Steinkopf, a guitar player in the Bouncing Souls. It's a record called Illuminator, out on Panic State Records and Pirates Press Records. It's a co-release, about a half-hour of tunes. And that kind of developed the same way. Just had some time on my hands and was going through some personal issues. So it's real reflective, I think, and not so, lighthearted as some of the earlier stuff. But it's important to share. It shows growth, I think, the record. I'm real proud of it. I mean, I've been lucky. There's a lot of great bands from town, you know what I mean? So I've always tried I'm the type that tries to learn a little bit. When I've been lucky enough to go out, like with the Dropkicks, and I guess it was '07 or something, we went out for a couple of weeks, and every night watching them and kind of learning trying to pick up little aspects of what they did is a great advantage, you know. And, overall, a Boston, New England attitude anyway, it has its pros and cons, I guess, you know. It lends to one thing. I was thinking about it today, actually. It lends so we're very more self-reliant and stuff. On the other hand, you know, people in Nebraska are a lot more friendly, so. Well, now, I guess right at this moment, Street Dogs are gearing up for a fest that we're doing on the 21st of June up in Quebec. That's going to be huge. Amnesia Rock Fest, I believe it's called. It's just like Weezer is headlining, Motley Crue is playing. It's just too many bands to list, and it's one of those pinch me kind of moments. You know, like, oh, did you ever think, somebody mentioned to me, would you ever think you'd be on a stage with this many big name acts? And I joked back, yeah, right. The only thing that surprises me is Jimi Hendrix isn't on the bill, so that's how big the thing is, you know. But that should be really cool. And then we're gearing up with the Street Dogs to go in the beginning of August for about 10 days to Europe. And I think we have one more gig in Jersey before the Asbury Lanes, before that Canadian date. And that's about it, really, as far as, really presence things. Always, planning on the next record, I guess, Now, Street Dogs are going to start writing for a new full length, and I think that I've compiled a bunch of stuff over the last few years to do the same, Now I've been playing with the Street Dogs for, I guess, next month will be a year. So, and I don't look at in terms of time. It's like more like gigs. It actually feels like all of a sudden now it's like the other day realized, oh man, I feel like I'm part of this band. We did that benefit a month and a half ago for Walsh and Kennedy, the firefighters that passed away. And there was a moment that I didn't feel uncomfortable doing it, and I didn't feel like it was so hard to learn and I was going to let people down. I just kind of started feeling natural about it. So I just joined the band, I guess, then.
You guys had to add an extra date to that, didn't you?
Yeah, we played one night over at Great Scott, and that was Mark, I should say Mark Lynn and the Ducky Boys, and Josh Smith at Bowery Productions did a great job of putting that all together in short notice. And sold the place out, Great Scott, in like 4 hours at $75 a head. And they added a second night at the Sinclair, which was sold out as well. I want to say, out of the 2 days and all the raffles and everything, put us at 50,000. So that's a great thing in short notice, and I was really happy to be a part of that. Yeah, I mean, it was rad. I mean, they actually brought the guys at 14 actually brought the fire truck down and parked in front of Great Scott. We took a big picture out in front, and it's just, I think it's important to pay homage to guys that really put their lives on the line like that, Well, this thing I just brought along because I was dumb and I forgot this really rad acoustic that I have, this Hummingbird that a buddy of mine did some paint with. But this is a nice little breed love that I got on Craigslist. Cool sounding instrument. And like I said, I kind of trying to always be better at something, so this kind of brings out a little trying hard to play something that I don't usually play. You want to grab that thing? I could show that out of the case if you want.
Sure. Let's take a peek. You want me to hold that for you?
If you don't mind, that'd be awesome. But this thing is the puppy right here. See, they make it like Fort Knox. So many latches. So this thing, I don't know, people say that because it's white, it's weird on the camera. But this is my pride and joy right here. This is a Billy Duffy from the Cult. Made a signature model that just started coming out last year. And I was really lucky with some of the Street Dogs connections to get in touch with a guy, Mike Schultz, over at Fender, who now owns Gretsch. And he hooked me up with a pretty good deal on this thing. And it is just a honey of a guitar. It's the coolest looking guitar I've ever owned. And so being in that ZZ Top tradition or something, I always want to have something. I wanted this guitar to be cooler than Billy Duffy, the guy whose models it was. So I have a buddy, Josh Luke, who's got a company, Best Dressed Signs. Does a lot of hand-painted stuff. And he's been gracious enough to do some stuff. And I nickname all my stuff. So this one's Wilma, and I got one that's Betty. She's giving a little finger over there because she's ginger, smart buttered ginger. Well, that's pretty rad, right? I think,
It's a beautiful guitar.
Yeah, I mean, I'm real lucky. Josh has been treating me really well, to do something like that for me. And it makes people jealous. Actually, I mean, I guess we could probably talk. The Street Dogs have a 3-song, 7-inch split with a band called Noise out of Tacoma, Washington. It's now out on Pirates Press Records. 3 songs of ours, 3 songs of theirs. That just came out, I think Record Store Day was the first official release for that. And it's rad. Everything from Pirates Press, those guys are awesome. I mean, they do... Vinyl now is just turned around into a whole new thing. So it's a real... Red, white, and blue, I think they have it in vinyl. Then some clear reds and some... It's just a real cool medium now. And we do a great Steve Earle cover that I was really happy to be a part of. And so we're pretty proud of the 3 songs we got on that, too. Well, I've been working on this thing since it's a Spanish guitar, and I've been so influenced by the Clash over the years that I've been trying to play this little version of Spanish Bombs that I've been doing for. You say I got to practice a lot for like the best part of a year. I've been trying to get it smooth, so I'm not sure how that'll go, but Spanish bums in Andalusia, the shooting sights, the days of 39. Oh, please leave the vendetta open. Federico Lorica is dead and gone. Bullet holes in the cemetery walls, the black cars of the Guardia Civil. Spanish bums on the Costa Rica. I'm flying in on a DC-10 tonight. Spanish bums, yo te quiere bonito, yo te quiera, oh my corazón. Spanish bums, yo te quiere bonito, yo te quiera, oh my corazón. Spanish weeks in my disco casino. The freedom fighters died up on the hill. They sang a red flag, they wore a black one. After they died, it was Mockingbird Hill. Back home, the buses went up in flashes. The Irish tombs drenched in blood. Spanish bumps shattered the hotel. My senorita's rose was nipped in the bud. Spanish bums, yo te quiere bonito, yo te quiera, oh my corazón. Spanish bums, yo te quiere bonito, yo te quiera, oh my corazón. Hillsides rang with free the people. Can I hear the echoes of the days of 39? Trenches full of poets, the ragged army fixing bayonets to fight the other line. Spanish bumps rock the province. Am I hearing music from another time? Spanish bumps on the Costa Brava. I'm flying in on a DC-10 tonight. Spanish bums, yo te quiere bonito, yo te quiera, oh my corazón. Spanish bums, yo te quiere bonito, yo te quiera, oh my corazón. Oh my corazón. Oh my corazón. Crap, almost perfect. He really brings the best out of it. There's no way you're going to see McColgan give a half-assed anything. The guy's just intense as hell.
How did you guys meet?
Me and Mike, I think he probably doesn't remember the first time we met, but that was back when he was singing with the Dropkicks. I think just after they got signed to Hellcat, I was following them around a bit. Me and Gurley and Doc Buster used to go and follow them around, and everybody trying to learn a little bit of what people were doing right, you know. But it was kind of casual, just introduced and hey, how you doing, that kind of stuff, and then Doc Buster got to do some touring with them, a couple of Home for the Holidays we did, and some dates, and got to hang around with him like that. And we got we got the same sense of humor. Me, John, and I mean, I guess that's the one great thing about now the lineup with the Street Dogs is we're all born and from the same area, so we all kind of get each other. You know, and it's that sense of humor is like constantly breaking each other's nuts about everything that we can. And, well, I mean, I grew up. As a kid, we moved back and forth. I think the first place that I can remember was like Canton, Mass. My mother had an apartment in Canton, and we moved to Plymouth for a couple of years, and then I lived most of my life in Kingston, a place called Rocky Nook, right on the border of Plymouth. And still, I always will call that home. Matter of fact, there's a track on that new record called Kingston. It's all about just paying homage to the place that I really kind of got to experience kind of growing up. And it was a cool place. It was mostly cottages back then. And now the town has gone from like, I think 14,000 when we moved there to 60,000 or something now. So, but that's the way of the world, I guess. And then in Boston, I lived for a bit in Inman Square with my ex for a number of years. And then we bought a house out in Weymouth, but I've always been going to shows and kind of hanging in Boston, following bands and, you know, anything that could happen. Hanging out at the Rathskeller back in the day, or Bunratty's, or O'Brien's. You know, I'm talking about back before they fixed the toilet in O'Brien's. That was a long time ago. Now I'm in JP. Yep, right on Washington Street, over near Forest Hill Station, and I'm tending bar and co-booking at a little club right down the street, actually walking distance, Midway Cafe. Again, it was just like a happenstance. I feel real fortunate that I kind of became 100%er in the music. That's the best part, is actually being able to help other bands that are, you know, coming through and give back a little bit in that regard. So that's always a challenge. Yeah.
What's this one called?
This one's called Happily Too, and Happily Too. That makes sense. It's called Happily, and it is a track on that record, Illuminator. Also available on iTunes. See, I'm turning into a pro, you know? We're imposters, living in our very own skin. I don't know where it all begins. Rent's no more. We can't listen, 'cause we don't talk anymore. We'll have to learn to ignore all these memories. Guess I'm gonna move far away, 'cause I just can't stand to see you living without me. Guess I'm gonna move far away, 'cause I just can't stand to see you living happily. Think it over. Let's go back to the start, before we broke each other's hearts 1,000 times. You never cared about money, even though we never had enough. You seem to like simpler stuff. Maybe you settled. Guess I'm gonna move far away, 'cause I just can't stand to see you living without me. Guess I'm gonna move far away, 'cause I just can't stand to see you living happily. Guess I'm gonna move far away, 'cause I just can't stand to see you living without me. Guess I'm gonna move far away. Guess I'm gonna move far away. Guess I'm gonna move far away, 'cause I just can't stand to see you living happily. I mean, in the EU, obviously that European tour that I was talking about with Rebellion, and as far as the U.S., I think the next probably big thing for the Street Dogs would be that Wreck the Halls tour that we do annually. We'll probably wind up, I would guess, at the House of Blues. mid-December, and we'd appreciate your support to come out for that. And I guess hopefully a new record from both projects, the Gang of One thing of my own and the Street Dogs. We're in the process of writing some new tunes, so keep an eye open for that.
For more exclusive on-demand video, keep checking in at WAAF.com.